Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're just doing a quick little overview and I would say review of the Heybike Mars. Retails for about $1,000 on Amazon. Take a look real quick up here. You can see from the trip, got 140 miles on the odometer. And as you can see here, power selection for your pedal assist, battery up here, and current speed. And then through these three buttons you can toggle through very easily your trip, time, power, which is very helpful, odometer, your max speed, average speed, and back to that normal. All right, and as you can see here, the three buttons. There is a deeper setting than this, but to get to the setting menu, you press the top button and the bottom button. You go into the settings, and then you can toggle through if you want it to restart the trip every time you turn off the bike. Your backlighting, as you can see it flashing there, brightness during the night. Your miles per hour or kilometers per hour, depending on what part of the world you're in. And back to that. Okay, so I had a slight issue with the bike. I don't know if you can tell by the snow coveredness, but there was a tire puncture, which, in my opinion, I've heard a lot of people say how difficult it is to remove a rear hub motor from an electric bicycle. I did not find that true. Obviously, YouTube is a very helpful tool. Able to look on there and find a video. Took me about, I would say, 3 or 4 minutes to completely disassemble the wheel. Very easy, very easy. And because of that, you had to disconnect the motor. Very simple, with this little cable here. When I did that, restarting the bike, it limited me to 15 miles per hour, or what the European standard is. I don't know if it was a factory reset or what. But I contacted Heybike, and I believe it was within 48 hours, they had contacted me back with an in-depth email and a video on how to reset the bike computer. As you can see here, you also have a power level indicator on the actual battery. Very easy to operate. Back up to the trip computer. So you'll see me here, as we did before, going to the menu or settings area. Then what you do is you press the two bottom buttons, which leaves you with wheel size, if you want to put a bigger or smaller tire on the bicycle. Then you have your speed limiter, which is set at 40 kilometers an hour for me. But that is what needed to be adjusted. Very simple fix, and they were able to contact me and get that sorted out within 48 hours, 2 days. And then there's also a third menu, which you find by, as again, top and bottom button same time. Then you hit the top and bottom button again to reach your more in-depth setting or menu. Your voltage, very easy to go through and just check out, see what it is. You can adjust that to your preference. And you also have scale and all. I haven't gone through it all and understand everything yet, but I'm continuing to do that through the current, the pedal assist, and that's where you can adjust your pedal assist and all. Then your speed sensor, and I believe that's your handling and all. And then your system settings. Very important. I wouldn't mess with these if I were you. I really haven't. And I haven't had any problems other than the one issue. Also, down here you can see you have a horn. Comes out of the front light there. Pretty loud. Obviously, in a car you might not hear it, but pedestrians definitely will. Looking back up, you also have a button on top for the headlight. As you can see now, the headlight is on. And we'll try to do it here. Click it. off and on. And then we'll go back here. You can also see it has a tail light. But unfortunately, it does not, let's see if we can get it here, off, on, but it does not have a functioning brake light, which, although would be nice, not necessary. Side reflectors on the wheels, disc brakes, although they're mechanical disc brakes down here. Unfortunately, I do not know the size off the top of my head. Disc in the front and back. I've adjusted them once. Obviously, you want to constantly keep an eye on it. And stopping power is really good. I haven't had hydraulic brakes yet, but I would imagine they would be better. But I would consider this adequate for this bike. Kickstand here, it's heavy duty, I've noticed. Obviously removable if you want to do that. Had a problem with loose tension on it, but I guess just because obviously you can see snow-covered ground, after I cleaned it off, it was perfectly fine and works as advertised again. Up here we can see the battery. Very simple. You have on, off, and then if you push in and twist even further, there's a locking piece on the back, so then you can now remove the battery if necessary. Obviously I'm not going to do that right now. It's kind of a pain, but if it's necessary, if you live in the city or whatever, you can definitely do that. If we look up here, the seat is a flip-up seat, so you can remove the battery more easily. Very, very simple. Just pull up on the tab, and the seat will pop up. It slides right out. This is also a suspension seat post. I found it is a lifesaver over the bumpy terrain, through wood trails and all. The front forks, I have bottomed them out quite a bit. As I said, everything is adequate for the bike. For a sub $1,000 bike, it does the job amazingly. The value is insane. You also have a locker with the front springs. Tires, for the off-road use, they're wonderful. You can see here, very knobby. Obviously, they're not going to be your off-road dirt bike tires, but they're definitely not city slick tires. Another great feature about this bike is the folding capability. Easily fit into the trunk of a coupe or even just a small sedan. Very easy. You have one latch up here. Then you have a second one down here in the middle of the bicycle. Very simple operation. Pull out and open. Now it doesn't want to work, but you get the idea. 7-speed Shimano. Obviously adequate again. Keep using that word, but it best describes the bike. Definitely have decent hill climbing abilities, but I will say at higher speeds, around 18 to 20 miles per hour, your cadence, you got a pretty high pedal rate or cadence, and definitely a struggle to keep that speed. I found the sweet spot for this bike's around 15 or 16 miles per hour. As a daily commuter, you don't even break a sweat doing that. Above that, you're definitely going to feel it a little bit more. So for the battery range, it worked pretty much as advertised. I've gotten about 20 to 25 miles on throttle only. As you can see here, it has a thumb throttle. Throttle only, you can get about 20-25 miles. But with the low pedal assist level, I was able to get upwards of 50 miles per battery, which that was not running the battery completely empty either, which I thought was amazing for the value of the bike. Again, back up at the handlebars, you can see you have decent grips. I found that they really are comfortable for long periods of riding. I like this oblong shape here. It definitely gives your palm a little bit more area, and you don't get those thumb blisters nearly as much. Obviously, brake levers are kind of standard with those mechanical brakes. They work. Hydraulic would have been better, but the price point again. The rear rack, I've used quite a bit actually. I don't know if you can tell, but it is slightly crooked. That came from the factory like that. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the time to disassemble it and, put it back to spec. but for the time being, it's worked great. As you can see, there's a bungee cord on top. I've hauled multiple things with it, very easy. Plan on maybe even getting a small bicycle trailer to haul stuff out of the woods, wood even. Very light loads, obviously, not too much heavy stuff. Uh, Wide open throttle, it can do hills pretty decent, 10, 15 miles an hour. The steeper they are, obviously, the less of that. When pedaling, though, hills are not a problem at all. As you can look up here, though, I have ripped the seat slightly. Fortunately, I'm not sure how this occurred. Might contact the company because it seems pretty thin. I'm usually pretty gentle with this stuff. Obviously, it's Chinese made. You don't want to be ragging on it. Another thing I did do was upgraded the pedals. I guess you could consider it a downgrade, actually, to just a standard pedal. The flip-up pedals that came with the bike, this left side here broke actually in half at the folding point. So just a simple swap, a couple dollars worth of pedals, it's not bad. I've noticed that I was getting a lot of flex with the foldable ones, and it just wasn't the right choice for me, at least on this bike. For a city commuter that needs to fold it up more frequently and put it in a trunk, works great. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.